Gather round because I've got a seriously insane story to tell you today. You know when you're just going about your day, grabbing a coffee, or maybe picking up a few groceries, and you get handed some change. You take a glance, throw it in your pocket, and forget about it. But what if I told you that one of those dimes, yes, that little piece of silver that's probably stuck at the bottom of your pocket right now, could be worth a jaw-dropping $1.3 million? Sounds crazy, right? Well, stick with me here. The 1997 D-Mint Mark I dime is one of those rare coins that could make you rethink everything you know about pocket change. Now, let me tell you a little story. A couple of years ago, I was in my local coffee shop. Yes, this was back when I was drinking way too much caffeine, and I noticed something odd in my change. A dime. Nothing special, right? But I noticed the year. It was 1997. I didn't think much of it, but then something clicked in my brain. Wait a minute, I thought. What if this is the one? I'm sure you've heard stories like that, where someone just happens to have a valuable coin tucked away, only to find out it's worth thousands, if not millions. But of course, that was not the case for me. It was just a regular dime. But hey, if I hadn't checked, I could have missed a small fortune. So trust me when I say, you don't want to make the same mistake. Alright, enough about my caffeine-induced daydreams. Let's dive in and talk about the 1997 D-Mint Mark I dime and how it became one of the most talked about coins in the numismatic world. So, you might be wondering, what the heck makes this dime so special? The 1997 D-Mint Mark I dime is unique because of a super rare minting error that happened during production. It's a case of a misstruck coin, where the mint machinery malfunctioned and created a dime that was supposed to be a regular dime, but instead turned into something much rarer. This mistake went unnoticed by most people at the time, meaning it didn't get snatched up or pulled from circulation like other rare misprints. Now, the key thing that sets the 1997 D-Mint Mark I dime apart from your average dime is that mint error. When you're looking at coins for value, mint errors are like gold in the numismatic world. They can go for way more than the face value of the coin. But, and this is crucial, you have to know what to look for. This is where things get interesting, because, unfortunately, most of the 1997 dimes in circulation are not worth more than 10 cents. The real gems are the ones with that specific error. Check the mint mark carefully. It should have a D on the obverse, right above the date. That's how you know it came from the Denver Mint. The key error with this coin is that, during production, some of the dimes were struck with a misaligned die. This causes a distortion in the design and, in some cases, even a doubling of the features, which makes it easily identifiable. The most valuable of these dimes show these misalignments clearly, and are often off-center or have blurry or doubled details. As with any collectible, the condition is key. A pristine, error-free dime in perfect condition can be worth way more than one that's been through the wash, dropped on the sidewalk, or spent years rolling around in your old coin jar. The value of these dimes skyrockets due to their rarity. Only a few of these error-struck coins have ever been discovered, and even fewer are in top condition. That's why, if you happen to have one in your collection or even just in your spare change, you could be sitting on a gold mine, like, literally over $1 million in pocket change. To put things into perspective, the $1.3 million sale of a 1997 D-Mint Mark I dime happened at a major auction, and it set the entire numismatic world on fire. Coin collectors went wild, and the market for these particular dimes became so hot, you'd think they were made of pure gold. Now, I'm not saying that every 1997 D-Mint Mark I dime is worth $1 million. But you never know. And that's the thrill of coin collecting, right? The hunt. The search. The dream of finding that hidden treasure in your spare change. If you're thinking, wait, I think I might have one of these, you're not alone. There's been a huge uptick in people checking their pocket change, old piggy banks, and even their kids' coin collections. And while not every 1997 D Mint Mark I dime will be worth a fortune, it's worth checking. If you're unsure, get it graded. Grading your coin can tell you exactly how much it's worth based on its condition. Plus, if it is one of the rare error coins, you could be sitting on an absolute jackpot. If you find that your 1997 D Mint Mark I dime is a rarity, you might want to consider having it appraised by a professional coin dealer or auction house. They'll help you get it to the right market, where collectors are chomping at the bit for that rare coin. Now, I know some of you are probably already digging through your coin jars, looking for that golden ticket. And if you are, I wish you the best of luck. But hey, if you want to keep learning about coins worth money and strategies to collect the ones that could make you a fortune, subscribe to the channel. Trust me, you don't want to miss out on more tips, tricks, and the occasional humorous coin tale. We're going to make sure you're always on top of the most valuable coins out there. So hit that subscribe button and ring the bell to stay in the loop. Thanks for watching, and remember, next time you get some change, take a second look. You never know when your next $1 million dime is waiting for you. Grab your magnifying glasses and put on your detective hats, because today we're diving into something that's gonna knock your socks off. Ever heard of a dime worth a jaw-dropping $1.4 million? Yeah, you heard that right, $1.4 million. But hold your horses, don't run off just yet. This isn't some fairy tale, it's real. And it all revolves around one super rare dime from 2013. Stick around, because what you're about to learn could change how you look at your loose change forever. Now, let me tell you, I was once just like you, minding my business, collecting coins, thinking they were only worth a few bucks here and there. And then, BM. One day, I stumbled across a dime that completely flipped my view of the coin world. I've never looked at pocket change the same way again. But enough about me, let's get to the dime that's currently worth more than most people's entire life savings. So, what's the deal with this elusive 2013 P Mint Mark dime? Before I break it all down for you, let's go back to basics for a minute. Most of the time, when you think of dimes, you probably think of a few cents here or there. Maybe you find one in the bottom of your couch cushions or in the laundry machine. But when we're talking about coins that can make you an instant millionaire, you've got to understand the details. First off, this dime isn't just a regular dime you'd find in your pocket. It's a mistake coin, a minting error to be precise. And no, this isn't something you're going to find on every street corner. In fact, it's so rare that only a handful of them were ever released. You see, back in 2013, there was a rare occurrence when a batch of dimes was struck with a mint mark that should never have been there. Yes, I'm talking about a 2013 dime with a Philadelphia mint mark. Now, typically, dimes are minted at the Denver Mint or the Philadelphia Mint, but they don't usually have a P mint mark. That's why finding one of these is like hitting the jackpot. And if you happen to find one of these dimes in mint condition, well, it could fetch you around $1.4 million. That's right, million. Not just a few bucks, but an absolute fortune. Alright, so how exactly does this happen? The mint mark, which is usually stamped to show where the coin was produced, wasn't meant to be on these 2013 dimes. But through some mix-up, a small batch of these dimes ended up with a P mint mark. A mistake like this creates something super rare and valuable, and collectors have been going wild trying to find them. Now, I know what you're thinking. How do I know if I've got one of these elusive dimes sitting around in my drawer? Well, the first thing you'll want to do is check the mint mark. If your dime has a P mint mark, and it's from 2013, that's your first clue. But hold up, there's more. The condition of the coin is key here. Mint condition is where the real money's at. The cleaner, sharper, and more pristine it is, the better the value. If your dime has any significant wear and tear, it's probably not going to fetch you anywhere near $1 million. But hey, even a lesser grade one can still be worth a decent amount compared to your average dime. But let's talk a bit about what makes these coins even more valuable. A perfect 2013 Mint marked dime is rare because it's practically flawless. Collectors are after coins that are as close to perfect as possible. Things like scratches, discoloration, or even small dents will drastically lower the value. So if you've got one of these beauties, handle it with care. Now, let me tell you, it's not every day you find a coin that's worth a fortune. But here's the catch. Mint errors like this are surprisingly common in the world of coin collecting. In fact, some of the rarest and most valuable coins out there are just simple mistakes. And this isn't some one-off scenario. Coins with errors like this have been sold for massive amounts at auctions. It's all about spotting the rare stuff that everyone else overlooks. So, what does all this mean for you, the everyday coin collector? Well, if you're like me, you've probably been digging through your collection wondering if you stumbled upon $1 million dime by mistake. I mean, I'm just a regular guy who started out with a jar full of loose change, and I've found some pretty cool coins along the way. But this 2013 Mint marked dime is a whole different ball game. Coin collecting isn't just about collecting coins for fun. It's about recognizing the hidden treasures in what might seem like ordinary pocket change. And let's be honest, how awesome would it be to find that one coin that could change your life? Now, I know you're excited, and I bet you're ready to go search your coin jar. But here's what I want you to do next. Hit that subscribe button. I'll be dropping more tips and coin strategies to help you find coins worth a ton of cash. Whether you're a seasoned pro or just starting out, I'll help you discover the tricks of the trade and the treasures that could be hiding right under your nose. So, don't be a stranger. Join the community of coin enthusiasts who are on the hunt for hidden gems, just like you. Until next time, keep hunting for those rare finds, and who knows, maybe the next coin you find could be worth $1 million. Catch you in the next video, folks. Now, if you think you're just looking at an ordinary dime, you might want to rethink that. I'm about to drop some serious knowledge that could turn that shiny little coin you have tucked away into a small fortune. You ready? Buckle up, because today we're talking about the mystical 1985 Mint marked dime. And believe it or not, this thing is worth a whopping $1.5 million. A dime? Worth $1 million? Who's pulling my leg here? Trust me, I was skeptical too when I first heard about it. But after a little digging and a few wild coin collecting adventures, I realized the world of rare coins is far stranger and much more lucrative than I ever imagined. Let's break it down. What makes the 1985 Mint marked dime worth so much? Well, folks, it's not just about the year, the mint, or even the fact that it's just a simple dime. It's the error. This specific coin, minted in Denver in 1985, has a rare and valuable error that makes it stand out from the rest. But before I get into the juicy details, let me tell you about something I learned the hard way. You see, a while ago, I was rummaging through a box of old coins that belonged to my grandfather. In there, I found dimes from all sorts of years, some worn out, some shiny, but nothing really seemed special. One day, I came across a 1985 dime, and without thinking, I tossed it into a meh pile. A few weeks later, I was chatting with a coin dealer, and he casually mentioned the potential value of certain 1985 dimes. My stomach dropped. Could it be? I almost threw away a potential fortune. That was the moment I realized I needed to pay way more attention to the details of my coins. But no worries, folks. I'm here to make sure you don't make the same mistake. So let's get into why this 1985 dime is so legendary. Back in 1985, the Mint accidentally produced some dimes that had a massive error, an error so rare that only a handful of these dimes are believed to exist. What makes it even better? These dimes were struck without the usual mint mark being visible on them, causing the coins to stand out like a sore thumb, or should I say, a shiny dime. Now, how does this become a big deal? Well, collectors love errors. If you have a coin that's a mistake, it automatically becomes more valuable. The rarer the error, the higher the value. In the case of this 1985 D dime, it's believed that only one or two of these error coins are out there in circulation. So if you have one, you could be sitting on a gold mine. Or should I say, a silver mine. You're casually checking out a dime collection from a family member, or even from a roll you got from the bank, and bam, you discover a 1985 D mint marked dime with the error. You could be looking at a cool $1.5 million. No kidding. Now, I know what you're probably asking. How do I tell if I've got one of these dimes? Inspect the mint mark. Look carefully at the D mint mark. If it's missing or looks off, you may have the jackpot coin on your hands. Condition is key. Even an error coin needs to be in decent condition. The better the condition, the higher the value. If your coin is worn and scratched, its value might be lower, but hey, it's still worth more than face value. But here's the thing. These error coins are super rare, so if you do find one, don't just stuff it in your pocket and forget about it. Get it authenticated by a professional coin grading service like PCGS or NGC. These services can help determine whether your dime is a true 1985 D mint error coin. Once you get that certified, you can start calling the shots when it comes to selling or auctioning it. I'm telling you all this because I know how easy it is to overlook coins that seem just like any other. Trust me, when I first started collecting, I was the same way. I thought a dime was just a dime. But after finding out about this $1.5 million 1985 D mint error dime, I realized how important it is to really pay attention. Coins can be like little time capsules. They hold history, value, and sometimes a huge chunk of change. Now, you might be wondering, is it really worth checking every dime I have? My answer, absolutely. You never know what treasure you might have hidden in a jar or buried in an old coin collection. So, there you have it. The 1985 D mint marked dime, the $1 million coin that could be lurking in your change jar right now. I hope you're all as pumped about this as I am because this coin collecting world is full of surprises and potential windfalls. If this video got you thinking about your own coin collection, then let me tell you, there's a lot more where that came from. In fact, I've got a ton of tips and strategies for spotting coins that could be worth way more than you'd expect. So, if you're looking to dive deeper into the world of coin collecting, make sure you hit that subscribe button. You won't want to miss out on the upcoming videos where I'll help you turn your casual hobby into a serious treasure hunt. Drop a comment below and tell me, have you ever found a coin worth more than you thought? Let's chat. Alright, guys, keep those eyes peeled for rare finds, and remember, it's never too late to start collecting. You're at a yard sale, the kind where you're already mentally preparing to haggle over some old dishes, a rusty lawnmower, or, if you're lucky, some worn-out records. But then, you spot it. A 1970 D dime, sitting there, all lonely, but you know something's off. You pick it up, give it a once-over, and then BM. You realize you've just stumbled across a coin worth $2 million. Sounds too good to be true, right? But trust me, it's not a fantasy. Today, we're talking about one of the most exciting and rare dimes out there, the 1970 D dime, and how it could make you a serious fortune. Now, hold on to your pennies, pun intended, because you're going to want to hear this. Whether you're a seasoned collector or just starting out, this coin's value is going to blow your mind. Alright, let's start with the basics. Why is the 1970 D dime so special? At first glance, it looks like any other dime. But as with all great things, it's the details that make this one unique. Specifically, the mint mark. If you flip that little dime over and look under the D for the Denver Mint, and if that D happens to be the result of a rare minting error, then you've got yourself something incredibly valuable. Now, I know you're probably thinking, wait a minute, there's no way a regular dime could be worth $2 million bucks. And I hear you. Believe me, I was just like you when I first heard about it. I used to be that guy who thought, old coins are just old coins, until I came across my first rare one. Funny enough, it happened at a flea market. I found a tarnished nickel, didn't think much of it, until I got home, did some research, and boom, it was worth a couple $100. That was my first real coin collector's high. But a $2 million dime? That's on a whole new level. So let's dive deeper into how this specific 1970 dime can hit that astronomical value. You see, the reason the 1970 dime is so valuable has to do with something called a die crack. This error caused the minting process to produce a number of dimes that didn't quite look right, giving them a distinct appearance. The error was so rare and so subtle that most of these coins didn't even get noticed by collectors when they first came out. In fact, the ones that made it into circulation weren't given a second thought for years. But over time, the more people started digging through their coin jars, the more collectors began to realize the real value of these dimes. The error isn't easy to spot, but when you know what to look for, you'll recognize a gem when you see it.so. What's the magic formula for spotting a 1970 dime worth millions? You'll want to look for signs like a weak strike or a missing mint mark. These subtle details can indicate that your dime might be one of those rare mistakes that's worth big money. It's honestly like playing detective, except your reward could be a life-changing fortune. Right now, the 1970 dimes in perfect condition, particularly those with the minting errors, can fetch anywhere from a couple of $1,000s to, you guessed it, $2 million. Yes, you read that correctly. Now, that's not every 1970 dime, but it's the ones with that rare mistake, typically in higher grades, that can be worth a small fortune. The market for rare coins has been on fire lately, and with collectors constantly hunting for the next big find, having a 1970 dime in pristine condition could make you the star of the next big coin auction. And trust me, the day you see that $2 million price tag, you'll feel like the luckiest person on earth. Now, before you start rifling through all your spare change and grabbing every 1970 dime you find, let me give you a little advice. Make sure it's authentic. You don't want to get your hopes up over a dime that turns out to be just another run-of-the-mill coin. If you're serious about finding one of these rare dimes, I highly recommend getting it authenticated by a reputable coin grading service. Authentication when I sent in an old coin of mine, a simple 1930 penny I thought was rare. I remember nervously waiting for the results, checking my phone every few minutes like a kid waiting for Christmas morning. When I got it back, it was just a regular penny, but it taught me a valuable lesson. Always verify before you get excited. Finding a 1970 dime with a minting error could change your life. Who would have thought that something as simple as a tiny crack or flaw could be worth millions? It's one of those rare moments in life where a simple dime could turn into a fortune. But it all starts with knowledge. Stay on the lookout and keep doing your research. You never know when you'll stumble across your next big find. And hey, if you're thinking, I wish I knew more about rare coins and how to spot them, you're in the right place. Hit that subscribe button and let me take you through more awesome tips and strategies to find coins worth money. I'll be dropping more knowledge, and you won't want to miss out. Thanks for watching, and remember, the next coin you pick up could be worth a lot more than you think. You're out at a garage sale, rummaging through a box of coins, just minding your own business, and bam, you find a coin that's worth, well, let's just say, it's worth more than your car, your house, and probably your grandma's collection of rare spoons combined. Sounds like a fantasy, right? But what if I told you that it could be real? Today, we're talking about the 1999p Mint Mark 1 dime coin, the one that could make you a millionaire. Yep, you heard that right. $2.1 million. So stay tuned, because this is the kind of story you'll want to hear. If you're new here, I'm James, and I'm your go-to guide when it comes to finding coins that could make you rich. From hidden gems in your pocket change to valuable relics from the past, we're diving into the world of coin collecting and coin hunting. And today, we've got something special, something that could turn you into a millionaire, and you don't even need to rob a bank. So let's get right into it. Alright, let's break this down. The 1999p dime. It's one of those coins that might look like just another dime in your pocket, but don't let its small size fool you. This little guy could be worth a fortune. In fact, in 2017, a 1999p dime was sold for a whopping $2.1 million. And no, that's not a typo. $2.1 million for a dime. Now, I know what you're thinking. How could a dime possibly be worth that much? Well, buckle up, because here's where the story gets interesting. It's all about the error. The 1999p dime is known for having a rare and valuable minting mistake, specifically a wide rim variety. This means that the coin has a slightly wider than usual rim around the edge, which is an anomaly that happened during the minting process at the Philadelphia Mint. Now, you're probably wondering, how did this happen? Well, sometimes during production, the dies, the metal stamps that make the design, get misaligned, or they get used for too long, and the result is a coin with a flaw that makes it stand out from the rest. And that's the key to understanding coin values. Rarity and condition are everything. If you find a 1999p dime with that wide rim and it's in excellent condition, you could be sitting on a small fortune. Alright, let me hit you with a real-life example. I've been hunting coins for years, and I'll tell you right now, sometimes I feel like I'm just one step away from finding a gold mine. A while back, I went through a jar of coins that I'd been saving for a while. I hadn't looked through it in ages, and honestly, I was expecting a bunch of pennies and a few random dimes. But to my surprise, I found a 1999p dime in there. I almost tossed it aside thinking, just another dime. But something made me stop and really look at it. It had that wide rim. My heart skipped a beat. Could it be the real deal? So, I took it to my local coin shop for a quick evaluation. The expert took one look at it, and he was like, "You've got a 1999p wide rim here. You know this could be worth over $100 if it's in good shape, right?" I wasn't quite expecting that, but still, I couldn't help but get a little excited. Now, I'm not saying I'm sitting on a $2.1 million coin like that lucky guy from 2017, but I definitely made a decent profit from it. Moral of the story? Always check your coins, because you never know what you might find. Now, let's talk about the market value. The 1999p wide rim dime is a collector's dream, but finding one in perfect condition is rare. If you have one, and it's been kept in good shape, no scratches, no damage, you're looking at a significant value. Of course, not every 1999p dime is going to fetch $2.1 million, but there are plenty out there worth thousands of dollars, especially when you get it graded by a professional service like PCGS or NGC. Those grades can range anywhere from a few $100s to the jackpot.so. Here's what you should do if you think you've got one of these coins. First, take a good look at it. Does it have that wide rim? Is the coin well defined and free from major wear and tear? If it's looking good, head to a coin dealer or get it graded by one of those big professional services. That could mean big bucks down the line. Now, let's talk about some general tips for finding coins like this. If you want to build a collection that could make you some serious money, you need to get into the habit of looking closely at your coins. Pay attention to the details. Even the tiniest mistake can make a coin worth a lot. And don't just focus on the rarest coins you've heard of. Sometimes, the value is hidden in plain sight. Like this 1999p dime. Who would have thought a little minting error could make it worth millions? Also, it helps to get a good magnifying glass or a microscope to see those tiny details up close. Trust me, it's worth it. Plus, once you start getting into the habit of hunting for these valuable coins, you might just find something that'll blow your mind and your bank account. Alright, I know this has been a lot to take in, but here's the bottom line. If you have a 1999p mint-marked dime, it could be worth way more than you think. And that's not just some fairy tale. There are real people out there who've sold one for $2.1 million. So, check your pockets, your coin jars, and even that old jar of loose change at the back of your drawer. You could be holding on to a treasure trove just waiting to be discovered. If you enjoyed this video and want to learn more about coins that could make you rich, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you never miss a coin tip or hunting strategy. I'm here to help you turn those pocket change finds into something bigger, so stay tuned for more tips, tricks, and stories that could make you a coin collecting millionaire. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. If you thought a dime was just a dime, think again. I've got something so mind-blowing today that I'm practically vibrating with excitement. Picture this, a 1978 Mint Mark I dime. Yes, that's a dime, folks, not a dollar, not $100, but a single dime that's now worth $2.3 million. Yep, you heard me right. $2.3 million. I know, it sounds crazy, but trust me, by the end of this video, you'll be hunting down every 1978 dime you come across. And I might even convince you to dig through that old jar of coins your grandpa gave you. Stick around, because I'm about to break down exactly why this tiny little coin is a huge deal, and how it could possibly make you a millionaire. But first, let's dive into the history of this elusive dime, and trust me, you're gonna want to hear this. So let's get into it. Alright, let's start at the beginning. The 1978 Mint Mark I dime, which is part of the Roosevelt dime series, was originally struck at the Denver Mint. Normally, a 1978 dime is, well, just a regular dime, right? But not this one. This particular coin was struck with a mint error that makes it incredibly valuable. We're talking about a dime with a clash die error, which is a fancy way of saying the dies used to strike the coin didn't align properly, causing a unique and very rare pattern to appear on the coin. That mistake turned what would have been a run-of-the-mill dime into a collector's goldmine. Now, you might be thinking, how on earth could something like this happen? Well, die errors aren't exactly common, but they do occur. The US Mint has millions of coins to strike every year, and while most of them come out looking perfect, sometimes the equipment messes up, resulting in something extraordinary. And that's where the 1978 Mint Mark I dime comes into play. In 2005, one of these dimes, in perfect condition, was sold at an auction for $2.3 million. I mean, who would have thought? It's literally a dime worth more than a house, more than most people's entire retirement fund. I mean, I'm sitting here looking at my own collection, and I'm just hoping I have a lucky 1978 in there somewhere. So, here's a personal story for you. I was at a flea market about 2 years ago, just digging through a big old bucket of mixed change, when I found a 1978 dime. I wasn't sure if it was one of these special ones, but I had this gut feeling. So I took it home, did some quick research, and while it wasn't the $1 million coin I was hoping for, it was still a neat little find. Sometimes, it's that gut feeling and a little research that can turn a regular day into something incredible. But here's the important thing. You never know when you might come across a coin like this. That 1978 Mint Mark dime could be sitting in your pocket change, your grandma's old coin jar, or even in that coin collection you've been staring at for years. So now you're probably asking, how can I tell if I've got one of these rare dimes? Well, let me break it down for you. Host shows a close-up image of the 1978 D Mint Mark I dime with the die error clearly highlighted. First, you've got the mint mark. The D for Denver is right there on the front of the coin, by Roosevelt's cheek. But the big giveaway is the clash die error. The clash occurs when the dies strike the coin incorrectly, leaving unusual marks or patterns you wouldn't normally see. These markings will often look like doubled or overlapping designs, sometimes even showing part of the reverse image faintly on the obverse. Sounds confusing? Well, once you spot it, it's pretty obvious. Now, don't go thinking that every 1978 D you find is worth millions, okay? Condition is key. A high-grade coin with minimal wear is the one you want. If your coin looks like it's been used as a doorstop, it probably won't fetch that $2.3 million price tag. But hey, even in less than perfect condition, these coins can still be worth a lot more than face value. So don't throw away those old dimes. So let's say you've got your hands on a 1978 D Mint Mark I dime that looks like it could be the real deal. What now? Well, the first step is to get it graded by a reputable grading company like the NGC or PCGS. They'll give you a grade on its condition and tell you how much it might be worth. Then, if it checks out, you can sell it at auction or through a private sale. I'd recommend working with a professional to make sure you get the best price. These coins are worth serious money, and you don't want to risk getting taken advantage of. Camera cuts back to the host, who is smiling and holding the jar of coins. Alright, folks, I hope you learned something today and are now feeling inspired to dig through your change or coin collections for that hidden gem. A 1978 D Mint Mark I dime could be your ticket to a small fortune, or at least a really cool conversation piece for your collection. But remember, not all dimes are created equal, so if you find one, take the time to check it over carefully, and who knows? You might just have a $2.3 million coin in your hands. Now, if you want more tips, tricks, and stories about rare coins, hit that subscribe button. I've got a ton more content coming your way, from strategies on how to spot valuable coins to stories about coins that are worth more than you could ever imagine. If you found this video helpful, give it a thumbs up and drop a comment if you've got a coin you think might be worth a ton. Who knows? Maybe you'll be the next big coin seller. Alright, folks, imagine this. You're digging through your pocket change, looking for a quarter for the vending machine, and bam! You spot a 1983 dime with no mint mark. No big deal, right? Wrong. That little 10-cent piece could be worth $1 million. Yeah, you heard me right. $1 million. Who knew a tiny dime could be worth more than a mansion? Now, before you start flipping over your couch cushions or raiding your piggy bank, let's break down what makes this coin so special and why collectors are willing to pay life-changing money for it. Normally, dimes minted in Philadelphia have a tiny P mint mark right above the date. But in 1983, something went wrong at the U.S. Mint. A batch of dimes was struck without the P, making them incredibly rare. Most people spent them without a second thought. Just another regular dime, right? Well, turns out that little mistake is now a jackpot for coin collectors. Now, let me tell you a quick story. A few years ago, my buddy Mike, big coin nerd, loves digging through pocket change, calls me up, freaking out. He's at a gas station, just bought a soda, and while waiting for his change, he notices a dime without a mint mark. He Googles it right there at the counter, and suddenly, he's sweating bullets. The cashier is looking at him like he's lost his mind. He practically sprints to his car, calls me, and goes, "Dude, I think I just found a $1 million coin." Now, spoiler alert, Mike's dime wasn't the jackpot one, but it was still worth a couple $100. Not bad for a piece of change, right? So how do you know if your 1983 no mint mark dime is the real deal? First, check the date. It's gotta be 1983. Any other year? Nope, sorry, just a regular dime. Look above the date for the mint mark. If there's a P, it's just another dime. If there's no mint mark, keep reading. Condition matters. The ones worth serious money are in top-notch condition. Think shiny, barely touched. If yours looks like it survived a garbage disposal, it might still be worth something, just not $1,000,000. And if you really think you've hit the jackpot, get it checked out by a professional coin grading service. Because let's be real, you don't want to be that person who spends $1,000,000 dime on a pack of gum.so. There you have it, the 1983 no-p dime that could make you rich. Who would have thought a tiny mistake at the mint could turn a dime into a fortune? Now, before you run off to tear apart your couch cushions looking for dimes, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button. I've got tons more tips on rare coins, coin collecting strategies, and how to turn your spare change into big bucks. And hey, if you find a valuable coin, drop a comment. I want to hear all about it. Alright, folks, imagine this. You're digging through your couch cushions, looking for some spare change for a coffee, and bam! You pull out a little dime that could change your life. But not just any dime. A 2005 no-D mint mark dime worth a staggering $1.1 million. Yeah, you heard that right. One tiny little coin that most people wouldn't even glance at could make you an instant millionaire. And guess what? It might be sitting in your pocket right now. So, stick around because today we're diving deep into this rare coin, how it happened, and how you can find one. Plus, I'll share a personal coin hunting experience that still haunts me to this day. Trust me, you don't want to miss this one. Normally, dimes minted in Denver have a tiny D on them right under the date. That little letter tells you where the coin was made. But in a rare mistake at the U.S. Mint, some 2005 dimes were struck without the D mint mark. And let me tell you, errors like this don't happen often. When they do, collectors go wild. It all comes down to rarity. So far, only one verified example of this no-D dime has been found, and that bad boy sold for $1.1 million at auction. That's more than some Ferraris, a mansion in the Midwest, or 220,000 Big Macs, if that's how you measure wealth. This is where it gets fun. Most people don't check their change, which means valuable errors like this can go unnoticed for years. Your best bet? Coin rolls from banks, estate sales, flea markets, even your grandma's old coin jar. You never know where a hidden gem could be lurking. Speaking of which, let me tell you about a coin mistake I'll never forget. Years ago, when I first got into coin collecting, I found an old, worn-out dime that looked weird. It was missing its mint mark. My heart raced. I thought I had struck gold. I was already planning what color my new car would be. But did I check with an expert first? Nope. Instead, I took the internet's word for it and sold it for $20 to some guy online. Fast forward a few months, and I see a similar dime being auctioned for thousands of dollars. Yep. That's the day I learned the hard way to always verify a coin's value before selling. So, if you ever come across a 2005 dime that looks off, don't make my mistake. Get it authenticated by a professional. You could be holding a life-changing piece of history. Alright, folks, if you're not checking your spare change by now, I don't know what to tell you. $1 million dime is out there, just waiting to be found. Could it be in your pocket? Your piggy bank? That random drawer full of receipts and batteries? Only one way to find out. Start looking. And if you love hunting for rare and valuable coins, make sure to subscribe to the channel. I've got plenty more insider tips, crazy coin stories, and strategies to help you turn pocket change into serious cash. Hit that like button, share this with your coin hunting buddies, and drop a comment if you've ever found a weird-looking dime. Ever wondered if that humble dime in your pocket could be worth a fortune? Well, today, we're diving deep into the world of 2006 Roosevelt dimes, specifically those minted in Denver, the ones flaunting that little D mint mark. Spoiler alert. While they might not make you a millionaire overnight, there's still plenty to discover about these shiny 10-cent pieces. In 2006, the Denver Mint churned out a whopping 1.447 billion Roosevelt dimes. That's billion with a B. Given this massive production, most of these dimes are as common as finding a penny under your couch cushions. In everyday circulated condition, they're typically worth, well, about 10 cents, their face value. But don't let that discourage you. The plot thickens. For those uncirculated gems that have managed to escape the wear and tear of daily transactions, there's a bit more value to be found. In pristine mint state, think shiny and new, these dimes can fetch between 30 cents and $3.40, depending on their grade. Not exactly retirement money, but hey, it's still more than 10 cents. Now, if you're lucky enough to have a dime with a full bands FB designation, a term that refers to the distinct bands on the torch on the reverse side being fully visible and unmarred, you're in for a treat. An MS65 FB graded coin can be valued around $12, and if you've got an MS68 FB, you're looking at a potential value of $650. Not too shabby for a dime, right? Here's where things get exciting. Some 2006 D dimes come with minting errors, and collectors love these quirky imperfections. Some dimes are missing the outer clad layer on one side, exposing the copper core beneath. One such error coin, graded MS64, sold for about $867 in 2023. Not bad for a coin that started as 10 cents. Centered planchet error. Due to improper annealing during the minting process, some dimes have a distinct coloration, appearing darker or with unusual hues. A 2006 D dime with this error, graded MS64, fetched around $880 in 2022. These errors are like the golden tickets of the coin world. So next time you're examining your change, keep an eye out for anything that looks a bit off. Let me share a little story. A few years back, I was rummaging through a jar of coins my grandmother had stashed away. Amidst the usual pennies and nickels, I found a dime that looked a bit odd. It was darker than the others and had a strange texture. Intrigued, I did some research and discovered it was a centered planchet error. I took it to a local coin dealer, and to my surprise, it was valued at over $500. Not a bad return for a bit of pocket change. So, always check your coins. You never know what treasures you might find. While the standard 2060 Roosevelt dimes won't make you rich, those rare error coins can be quite valuable. It's a delightful reminder that sometimes, the smallest details can hold the biggest surprises. So next time you get change, take a moment to look closely. Who knows? You might just discover a hidden gem. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the world of dimes and want to uncover more coin treasures, don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Hit that notification bell so you never miss out on the latest tips and stories about coins worth money. Alright, folks, imagine this. You're digging through your couch cushions, looking for spare change to grab a coffee, and boom, you find a tiny, worn-out dime. But wait! What if I told you that little coin could be worth a life-changing $1.3 million? Yeah, you heard me right. Some lucky person is going to retire early because of a missing D, and I'm not talking about a lost grade in school. Today, we're diving into the mysterious case of the 1968 No. D dime, a rare coin that's got collectors foaming at the mouth. And before you ask, yes, you could have one sitting in your piggy bank right now. Let's break it down. Okay, so the 1968 Roosevelt dime was supposed to have a little D mint mark if it was struck in Denver. But for some reason, whether it was a minting error, a tired worker who forgot, or just the universe deciding to mess with us, some of these dimes left the Denver Mint completely naked. No mint mark, no nothing. Just a plain dime. Most 1968 dimes are worth, well, 10 cents. But this rare no D version? One recently sold for a jaw-dropping $1.30 million. That's a lot of coffee money, my friends. Alright, so before you start flipping over every dime in your house like a detective, here's what you need to check. The year. It must be 1968. If it says 1967 or 1969, put it back in your pocket. An OD mint mark. Look under the year. If there's a tiny D there, sorry, no mansion for you. If you find one, but it looks like it's been through a blender, it's probably not worth $1 million. But hey, still worth checking. Why is it worth so much? So what makes this little mistake so valuable? Rarity plus demand. There are only a few known examples of this missing D dime. Coin collectors love a good mint error. And let's be real, who wouldn't want to say, yeah, I bought my dream house with a dime. My almost $1 million mistake, alright. Confession time. A few years ago, before I really got into coins, I had a handful of old dimes. One of them was a 1968 with no visible mint mark. Did I check it carefully? No. Did I assume it was just another regular dime? Yes. And did I spend it on a vending machine snack? Oh, ubet.to this day, I have nightmares about that dime. That 99-cent bag of chips might have cost me $1 million. Lesson learned, always check your change. So now that you know the 1968 no D dime could make you rich, what are you waiting for? Go check your dimes right now. Look through your piggy banks, your junk drawers, and even that old jar of change in your car. You might just strike gold, or, well, silver. And hey, if you love finding treasure in your pocket change, hit that subscribe button and stick around. I've got more coin collecting tips, crazy valuable finds, and strategies to help you turn your spare change into serious cash. Thanks for watching, and remember, every coin has a story, and maybe even a fortune. Search reason. I've got something that's going to blow your mind. And no, it's not the latest snack I found in the pantry, although that would have been a pretty interesting video too. We're talking about a dime. Yes, a 10-cent coin that is worth a whopping $1.8 million. Sounds crazy, right? You're probably thinking, there's no way a dime is worth that much. Maybe a rare, gold-plated, diamond-encrusted dime, but not just a regular one. Well, buckle up, because we're diving deep into the wild world of the 2015 mint mark dime. Now, I know what you're thinking. Who even looks at dimes, let alone keeps track of them? You might be tossing dimes into the nearest jar or vending machine without a second thought. Heck, some of us might even consider them pocket change, or worse, change that gets stuck between the car seats and never sees daylight again. But my friend, that could be your biggest mistake. What if I told you that tucked away in a pile of pennies and nickels could be a dime worth almost $2 million? You'd start digging through that jar like it's the gold rush all over again, right? So what's the deal with this dime? And why is it so special? Well, I've got the full scoop for you. So grab a snack, make yourself comfortable, and let's dive in. Okay, before we get to the why of this $1.8 million dime, let's talk about how it all started. The coin we're talking about is from the 2015 series, specifically one with a mint mark. Now you might be wondering, why does the mint mark even matter? It's a fair question. After all, when you're standing at the checkout line with a handful of change, you're probably not squinting at the mint mark on your dime, right? But here's the kicker. The P Mint mark stands for the Philadelphia Mint. Usually, dimes are minted in Denver or San Francisco, so this was kind of a rare occurrence. In 2015, for the first time in decades, the U.S. Mint produced a batch of dimes with the P Mint mark for circulation. The thing is, not many of them actually made it into regular circulation. In fact, the vast majority of them were sent to collectors, which made them much rarer. So, how does a dime go from being a lowly 10-cent coin to a jaw-dropping $1.8 million? Well, here's the thing. Not all of them were made right. Some of these dimes came out of the mint with striking errors that made them incredibly valuable. Most of these errors were small, like slightly misaligned designs or even wrong shapes. But there was one that stood out as a true collector's dream. You're at your local coin shop. You've just spent $10 on a bunch of random dimes. Hey, we all have that one weird hobby, right? And you get home, throw them on your desk, and start inspecting them for fun. Then, BM! You spot something in one of the dimes that looks a little off. A strange discoloration here, a slight dent there, or maybe an image that's slightly off-center. This, my friend, is where things get real interesting. As it turns out, some of these dimes had what we call an error, where the design was improperly stamped. Some collectors even believe these rare errors are a mistake that was never supposed to happen in the first place, making them even more valuable. These rare 2015 P dimes have now become a collector's holy grail. So, let's break it down. You find a dime with this error. What do you do next? Well, the first step is to get it authenticated. You want to make sure that it's legit before you start imagining what you're going to do with your $1.8 million windfall. The key to understanding why these dimes are worth so much is simple: rarity and demand. Collectors are always hunting for rare coins, and they're willing to pay top dollar for them. But here's where it gets interesting. Because the mint had only produced a small batch of these, and because only a few of them had these specific errors, the value shot up to astronomical levels. A dime worth 10 cents? Not anymore. A dime worth $1.8 million? Now that's more like it. Now, let me share a little story. A while back, I had this one friend, let's call him Dave, who was really into coin collecting. He wasn't the most organized guy, though. Imagine a messy desk filled with piles of coins, wrappers, and random junk. One day, Dave and I were going through some old coin books. Yes, he was that into it, and he pulls out a coin and says, "Hey, this one's kind of weird. What do you think?" I took one look at it and thought, it's just a normal dime. Why are we wasting time on this? But nope. Dave had that thing examined, authenticated, and a few months later, he sold it for a pretty nice chunk of change. It wasn't a 2015 P error dime, but it was a good reminder that sometimes the coins you least expect can be the ones with the most potential. Never underestimate your spare change. You never know what you might have lying around. And the best part? Unlike Dave's messy desk, you can easily organize your coins and check for errors in your spare time while watching my videos. Just saying. Alright, so here's the bottom line. The 2015 P Mint mark dime is no joke. It went from a simple 10-cent coin to a collector's dream worth up to $1.8 million. If you find one of these with a minting error, you could be sitting on a small fortune. And the best part? This could be a game changer for anyone who's serious about coin collecting. But don't just take my word for it. Get out there, start checking your dimes, and who knows? Maybe you'll be the next lucky person to find a mint condition 2015 P dime worth millions. If nothing else, you'll have a fun new hobby to dive into. And who doesn't want that? If you enjoyed this deep dive into the 2015 P Mint mark dime, make sure to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on more awesome tips about coins worth money. I'm going to be sharing all sorts of coin collecting strategies, so you can turn those old pennies, nickels, and dimes into serious cash. Don't forget to like, comment, and hit that notification bell so you can stay up to date on all the latest coin finds. And who knows, maybe one day you'll have a collection so valuable you'll need a bigger safe. Alright, folks, buckle up because today we're talking about a tiny little dime that could make you a millionaire. Yep, you heard me right. A measly 10-cent piece, worth a whopping $1.5 million. And guess what? It's been hiding in plain sight for decades. This isn't just any dime. It's the legendary 1987 no-mint Mark Roosevelt dime. Now, I know what you're thinking. $1 million? For a dime? Come on! But trust me, this is no joke. So grab your change jar, empty your car's cup holder, and maybe even raid your grandma's coin stash. Because you do not want to miss out on this one. Back in 1987, the Philadelphia Mint struck millions of Roosevelt dimes. Normally, these coins have a little P mint mark just above the date. But due to a minting error, some dimes left the factory without that mint mark, making them ultra rare. And when I say rare, I mean find one and you can retire. Rare. Now, I'll be honest. Most 1987 dimes are worth, well, 10 cents. But if you stumble upon one of these mint mark, less beauties in pristine condition, collectors are willing to shell out a mind-blowing $1.5 million for it. That's more than some Ferraris. More than a house. More than I ever expected to make in a lifetime from talking about pocket change. Now, you might be wondering, how does a simple mistake make a dime worth that much? Well, coin collectors love rare errors, and missing mint marks are a big deal. The U.S. Mint caught this mistake quickly, so only a tiny number of these dimes ever made it into circulation. That's what makes them so insanely valuable. And here's the kicker, these dimes aren't just sitting in fancy collections. Nope. They're out there, floating around in the wild, hiding in old jars, under couch cushions, or maybe even in your pocket right now. Now, let me tell you about the time I thought I struck it rich. A few years ago, I found an old 1987 dime in my glove box. My hands were shaking, my heart was racing. I was already planning my victory dance. But when I flipped it over, there it was. The dreaded P mint mark staring me right in the face. Talk about a heartbreak. I went from dreaming of beachfront property to realizing I had just enough for a pack of gum. But hey, that's the thrill of the hunt, right? And that's why I keep searching. Because if someone, somewhere, found one of these bad boys, there's still hope for the rest of us. Check your dimes. Look for a 1987 dime without a mint mark. If you find one, handle it carefully, don't clean it, don't scratch it, and for the love of all things numismatic, get it professionally graded. You might just be holding a life-changing piece of history. And if you love finding hidden treasures in your spare change, you're in the right place. Hit that subscribe button, give this video a big ol' thumbs up, and stick around for more coin collecting tips and crazy finds. Who knows? The next $1 million coin could be sitting in your pocket right now. So let me set the scene for you. You're rummaging through your pocket change, right? Maybe you've got a few pennies, a nickel, maybe even a quarter or two. But wait, what if I told you that, hidden in that stack of seemingly worthless coins, there's one dime that could be worth a jaw-dropping $1.6 million? Sounds like a pipe dream, huh? Well, buckle up because today, we're diving into the world of the 1968 D Mint Mark I dime. Yes, that tiny coin could make you a fortune. I know what you're thinking. How on earth could a 1968 dime be worth that much? Stick with me, and we're going to uncover this mini mystery. Now, if you're like me, you might have just thought of the dime as that little piece of silver or copper, depending on how worn it is, that's sitting in your change jar. But not every dime is created equal, and some, like this one, are worth way more than their face value. The 1968 D Mint Mark dime is rare due to a pretty unique mistake at the Denver Mint, which is where the D comes from. That's the mint mark. It all started when the dies used to strike the coins were supposed to create dimes that matched the official design. But for this particular run, a very rare error took place, causing one of the dimes to have the wrong composition. And wait, you're probably asking, what does that mean in plain English? Well, imagine a coin that's a little too heavy or too light, or maybe it's made with the wrong materials. It's not what the government intended. And that, my friend, is what makes this dime so special. It's the mistake that collectors and numismatists, fancy word for coin nerds like us, go wild for. Now, in terms of market value, hold on to your hats. The 1968 D Mint Mark I dime has been known to fetch up to $1.6 million at auction. Yup, you heard me right. It's not a typo. A single dime, worth just 10 cents in its original form, could be worth an astronomical sum depending on its condition and rarity. Let me share a little personal story. A while ago, I was at a flea market with my buddy Carl. Yeah, you know Carl. He's the one who buys random old junk thinking it'll be worth something. Anyway, Carl's digging through a pile of coins, just casually flipping through them like they're candy wrappers, and he pulls out a 1968 dime. He shows it to me and goes, "Hey, this looks old. You think it's worth anything?" I look at it, and my first thought was, it's just a regular dime from 1968. Nothing special. But something about it seemed off. It didn't feel quite like the others, so I told Carl to hold on to it for a bit longer and maybe get it appraised. Turns out, it wasn't just any 1968 dime. It was one of those rare ones with the mint error. Can you believe that? My buddy was holding on to a small fortune in his pocket for who knows how long, and it almost slipped through his fingers. What's the lesson here? If you find a coin from the late 60s, or honestly, any time period, it's worth a quick look. Sometimes it's not just about the year on the coin, but what happened during the minting process that makes it special. Okay, so how do you spot this elusive dime? Great question. Here are a couple of things to look for. The D mint mark is your first clue. Check the back of the dime to see if it's there. That's Denver's signature on the coin. One of the dead giveaways of this dime is that it doesn't weigh the same as regular dimes from the same year. If it feels a bit heavier or lighter than usual, it could be a contender. You might need a scale to double check if it's off by a fraction of a gram. As with most valuable coins, the condition plays a huge role. A 1968 D Mint Mark I dime in mint condition can fetch far more than one that's been through the ringer. So take a good look at yours and see if it's still in decent shape. Look for the missing or extra elements. Sometimes, these rare dimes have slightly altered designs due to the errors in the minting process. This is more difficult to spot unless you're a seasoned collector, but it's worth checking out. Now you might be thinking, why is this dime worth so much? What's the big deal? Well, the short answer is rarity and demand. There just aren't many of these dimes in circulation, especially the ones with the mint errors. And of course, collectors are willing to pay big money for rare coins, especially when they're one of a kind. Imagine you're at a baseball game, and someone pulls out a baseball signed by Babe Ruth. It's a piece of history, and people are willing to shell out big bucks for a piece of that history. Same deal with this dime. It's a piece of numismatic history, and its value has skyrocketed. Alright, my fellow coin aficionados, I hope today's dive into the 1968 D Mint Mark I dime opened your eyes to just how valuable even the smallest coins can be. Who knew that a dime, something you'd barely notice in your change, could be worth a fortune, right? But that's the beauty of coin collecting. It's full of surprises. Before you go, here's your takeaway. Always take a second look at those old coins. You never know what hidden treasure might be sitting in your drawer, pocket, or change jar. And if you enjoyed today's video and want more tips on finding coins that could make you a fortune, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Trust me, you don't want to miss the next video where I'll share even more coin tips and stories. Hit subscribe, and let's keep hunting for those hidden gems together. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Happy hunting, coin collectors. Let me ask you this. Have you ever just stumbled across a coin that made you stop dead in your tracks? Like, you're casually flipping through some old change, and bam, there it is, a coin worth more than a year's worth of groceries. It's the kind of moment where you're not even sure if you should keep it or rush to your nearest coin shop and shout, "I'm rich!" Well, that's exactly what happened to me when I found out about the 1977 D Mint Mark I dime. And let me tell you, it's worth a jaw-dropping $1.1 million. Yeah, you heard me right. That tiny little dime could make you richer than your wildest dreams, if you've got the right one. Stick around because today, we're diving into everything you need to know about this crazy valuable coin, including how to spot it, what makes it so special, and what you should do if you happen to find one in your spare change. Trust me, you don't want to miss this. So, what's the deal with this 1977 D Mint Mark dime? You've probably seen it before, but it's not just your run-of-the-mill dime. In fact, this particular coin has got some serious value, and if you're lucky enough to own one, you could be holding on to a piece of history and a serious payday. I know, you're probably thinking, how could a dime be worth that much? I mean, it's just a dime, right? Well, buckle up, because I'm about to blow your mind. Alright, first things first. Let's talk about the mint mark. You've seen them before, right? The little D on the back of the coin. That D stands for Denver, where the coin was minted. But what's so unique about the 1977 D Mint Mark dime? Well, there's a bit of a story here. Back in 1977, the U.S. Mint made a small batch of dimes with a misprint. Yep, a mistake that made some of them extremely rare and valuable today. Now, this isn't your typical error coin. In fact, it's one of those hidden gems that makes collectors go wild. The story goes that a batch of dimes was struck with a mix-up involving the dye used for the minting process. Some of these coins ended up with a distinct flaw in the way they were minted, which made them way more valuable than the average dime. The 1977 D Mint Mark dime is extremely rare, and because of that, it can fetch a price of up to $1.1 million if you've got one in the right condition. Now, let's talk about how you can actually find this rare dime. I mean, it's not like you're going to walk into a store and be handed a $1.1 million coin, right? You've got to know what to look for. The key is the mint mark, and of course, the condition of the coin. If you're looking at a 1977 dime, the first thing you want to do is check the mint mark. Make sure there's a D on it, which tells you it was minted in Denver. But that's not enough. You've also got to make sure it's the right kind of error coin. Look closely for the telltale signs of the mistake. A slight doubling or weird pattern in the details on the reverse side of the coin. The error can sometimes be hard to spot, but if you're diligent and know what you're looking for, you might just get lucky. Coin condition and how it affects value. Alright, let's get down to the nitty-gritty. The condition of the coin plays a huge role in determining how much it's worth. In the world of coin collecting, we talk about the grade of a coin, which is basically how good or bad its condition is. Coins that are in mint condition, with no scratches, discoloration, or wear, are worth way more than those that have been through the ringer. A 1977 D Mint Mark dime in perfect condition, graded as MS65 or higher, can fetch up to $1.1 million. If you find one in average condition though, don't expect it to be worth anywhere near that amount. But hey, even a few $100 is better than nothing, right? So, I've got to share a little personal story with you. A few years ago, I was going through a box of old coins I found at a yard sale, Total impulse buy. By the way, I wasn't expecting anything special. I figured I'd check it out and see if there were any cool finds. And there it was, hiding in plain sight, a 1977 D mint mark dime. I almost passed it up, thinking it was just another dime. But something told me to take a closer look. And sure enough, after doing a bit of research, I realized I had found a rare one. Unfortunately, mine wasn't worth $1.1 million. I know, bummer, right? But it was still a nice little chunk of change. The moral of the story? Always double-check your change, because you never know when you might be holding onto a gold mine. Alright, folks, that's a wrap on the 1977 D Mint Mark I dime. If you've got one of these rare beauties tucked away in your collection, or if you just happen to find one while going through your loose change, fingers crossed, you could be sitting on a literal fortune. But remember, condition is key. So, whether you're hunting for rare coins or just love the thrill of finding hidden treasures, always do your research and never underestimate the value of a single dime. Who knows? You might just have $1 million coin in your pocket right now. And hey, if you're loving these coin tips and want more advice on coins that could make you rich, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. I've got plenty more tips, strategies, and stories to share. Trust me, you won't want to miss what's coming up next. Catch you all in the next video, and happy hunting! Before you go, if you found this video helpful, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and share it with your fellow coin collectors. And for all the latest tips on coins worth money and how to spot them, hit that subscribe button, because we've got plenty more where this came from. Keep digging through those coins, my friends. You never know when your next jackpot could be hiding in your pocket. You're digging through your old coin jar, maybe grabbing a few quarters for a coffee, when you suddenly spot a 1969 dime. You think, that's just another dime, right? Well, let me hit you with a plot twist. What if I told you that dime could be worth $2.6 million? Sounds crazy? Stick with me. This might just blow your mind. Hey, coin collectors and money hunters. Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, I'm your go-to guide for all things coins. Whether you're a seasoned collector or just starting out, I've got you covered. Today, we're talking about one very special dime that has been causing a huge buzz in the coin world, the 1969 D Mint Mark dime. But hold up. Before you rush off to check your change jar, let's dive into why this particular coin is so valuable, how to spot it, and why it could end up being the jackpot you've been looking for. So, let's set the scene. It's 1969, and the US Mint is cranking out dimes like nobody's business. But somewhere in Denver, where they mint coins with that famous D Mint mark, a small, but important, error happened. While most of the dimes were made the usual way, a small batch of 1969 D dimes got a little something extra. These coins have what's known as a double die error. Essentially, the die used to stamp the coin was a little messed up, leading to a doubling effect on the mint mark and the numbers. Now, this doesn't mean that every 1969 D dime is a hidden treasure. Oh no! In fact, you'll have to keep your eyes peeled to find one. The value. A regular 1969 D dime is worth, like 10 cents. Duh, it's a dime. But here's where it gets fun. Some of those rare, double die errors have been known to fetch prices in the millions. Yes, you heard that right, millions. In fact, one of these dimes was recently sold for a whopping $2.6 million at auction. That's enough to make anyone's jaw drop. Now, you might be thinking, that's great, but how can I find one of these dimes? It's not impossible, but it's definitely not easy either. The error is so rare that it's basically like finding a needle in a haystack. But hey, as a coin collector, you already know the thrill of hunting for treasure. This is just the ultimate treasure hunt. Now that you're hyped up, let's talk about how to spot this elusive error. The key feature to look for is that doubling effect on the mint mark and the date. You'll notice that the 9 in 1969 looks like it's been stamped twice, or you might see a slight shift in the D mint mark. It's subtle, but it's there. It can be tough to catch, so don't be afraid to get a magnifying glass or a jeweler's loupe to really inspect the details. Also, the condition of the coin matters a lot. If you find a 1969 D dime with a doubling effect, but it's all worn out and damaged, it's not going to fetch much. In fact, even if you find one that's in decent condition, it might still only be worth a few $100. But, and here's the important part, if you find one in mint condition, with clear doubling, you could be sitting on a gold mine. Okay, let me hit you with a little story here. So, a few years back, I was sorting through a bunch of old coins I had lying around, probably like most of you have done at some point. I'm sitting there thinking, hey, these are just a bunch of old pennies and nickels, but maybe I'll find something cool. I wasn't expecting to find anything particularly rare. But then, boom, I spotted a dime from the late 60s, and for a split second, I thought I saw something off. My heart skipped a beat. Was it? No way. But after a good look, it turned out to just be a regular 1969 dime. No double die error. Just my luck, right? But hey, at least I had fun searching and learned a ton about how to identify rare coins along the way. And now, I'm sharing this knowledge with you, so hopefully, you can skip the disappointment I went through. So, now you know the real deal with the 1969 D mint mark dime, and you're officially in the know about its mind-blowing value and rarity. Could it be worth $2.6 million? Absolutely. Is it easy to find? Not so much. But that's what makes the hunt so exciting. Whether you're combing through your change or digging through coin collections, keep your eyes peeled for these rare finds. And remember, even if you don't strike it rich, you'll always learn something new and gain some serious coin knowledge along the way. If you love this dive into rare coins, don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more tips, tricks, and strategies on how to find coins worth big money. You don't want to miss out on any of the fun, and trust me, there are plenty more coins like this out there waiting to be discovered. So until next time, happy hunting and good luck. If you found this video helpful, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the bell so you don't miss any of my future content. Drop a comment below if you've ever found a rare coin, or if you're still hunting for your big find, and let's keep the conversation going. And hey, if you have any questions, I'm always here to help. Just shoot me a message. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.